I want to take this opportunity to thank all of you for attending this press release. I just want to thank all our partners, starting with ICPAC, the Kenya Red Cross, Care International, all the MDS that participated in the National Climate Outlook Forum when we were preparing this forecast. We appreciate you very much. So now I'll go to the weather outlook for the October, November, December 2021 short rain season. We start off with the highlights. The forecast for the October, November, December 2021 short rain season. The climate outlook for the OND short rain season indicates that most parts of the country are likely to experience depressed rainfall. This will be driven by near to below average sea surface temperatures over the western equatorial Indian Ocean adjacent to the East African coastline, coupled with warmer than average sea surface temperatures over the eastern equatorial Indian Ocean adjacent to Australia. This constitutes a negative Indian Ocean dipole that is not favorable for good rainfall over most of East Africa. Also, the equatorial sea surface temperatures are near to below average across most of the equatorial Pacific Ocean, which implies that ENSO neutral conditions are present. Most global climate and weather forecasting models predict La Nina condition is likely to develop over the OND season. The distribution of the rainfall in time and space is expected to be generally poor over most areas, especially during the month of October and the peak month of November. In the month of December, rainfall reduction is expected over several parts of the country as the season draws to an end. The temperature forecast indicates that warmer than average temperatures are likely over most parts of the country during the season. There are also enhanced probabilities of warmer than average temperatures in eastern Kenya. Now, the forecast for the October, November, December 2021 season. The short rains October, November, December season constitutes an important rainfall season in Kenya, especially in the central and southeastern regions of the country. During the October, November, December 2021, it is expected that most parts of the country will experience depressed, that is below average rainfall, that will be poorly distributed both in time and space. However, isolated incidences of storms that could cause flash floods are still likely to occur despite the expected depressed rainfall. The areas likely to receive below average or depressed rainfall are the Lake Victoria Basin, Highlands west of the Rift Valley and Central and South Rift Valley, that is the counties of Siaya, Kisumu, Homa Bay, Migori, Kisii, Nyamira, Trans Nzoia, Baringo, Uasin Gishu, Elgeyo Marakwet, Nandi, Kericho, Kakamega, Vihiga, Bungoma, Busia, Laikipia, Nakuru, and Narok counties. The other counties that are expected to receive below average rainfall are counties in northwestern Kenya. That is Turkana, Samburu, and West Pokot counties. Counties over the highlands east of the Rift Valley are also expected to receive below average rainfall. And these are Nyandarua, Kirinyaga, Nyeri, Murang'a, Kiambu, Meru, Embu, Tharaka Nithi, and Nairobi County. Other counties include those in the southeastern Kenya, Taita Taveta, Kajiado, Machakos, Makueni, and Kitui. And the northeastern counties, parts of Garissa, Marsabit, and Isiolo. Counties in the coast region as well are expected to receive below average rainfall. That is Mombasa, Kilifi, Kwale, Lamu, and Tana River. You can see those counties in the map that is shared. Those are the counties that are in zone 2 in the yellow color. Then there are areas with increased probabilities of below average, highly depressed rainfall, and these are indicated in zone A. Zone 1, you can see the dark brown in the shared map, and these are the counties in the far northeastern. That is Mandera, Wajir, some parts of Garissa, Marsabit, and Isiolo. The specific outlook for October, November, December 2021 is as follows. The Lake Victoria Basin, Highlands west of the Rift Valley, and Central and South Rift Valley. That is the counties of Siaya, Kisumu, Homa Bay, parts of Migori, Kisii, Nyamira, Trans Nzoia, Baringo, Uasin Gishu, Elgeyo Marakwet, Nandi, Kericho, Kakamega, Vihiga, Bungoma, Busia, Laikipia, Nakuru, and Narok. In these counties, occasional showers and thunderstorms are expected to continue throughout the season. The expected rainfall is likely to be below the long-term average for the season. That is depressed rainfall. The peak of the season is expected in November. The expected rainfall is likely to be poorly distributed both in time and space. Are likely to experience mainly sunny and dry conditions for most of the season. However, showers and thunderstorms are likely to occur on a few days during the season. The expected rainfall amount is likely to be below the long-term average for the season, that is depressed rainfall. Long dry spells are also likely during this season. The highlands east of the Rift Valley counties, including Nairobi, that is Nyandarua, Nyeri, Kirinyaga, Murang'a, Kiambu, Meru, Embu, Tharaka Nithi. These counties are likely to experience occasional rainfall during the season. The expected rainfall is likely to be below the long-term average amounts for the season, and it will be poorly distributed both in time and space. And then we move to the southeastern lowland counties, that is Kitui, Makueni, Machakos, Taita Taveta, and Kajiado. These counties are expected to experience occasional rainfall during the season. The expected rainfall amount is likely to be below the long-term average for the season, and the rainfall is likely to be poorly distributed both in time and space. The northeastern counties, that is Mandera, Marsabit, Wajir, Garissa, and Isiolo. These areas are expected to experience mainly sunny and dry weather conditions and only a few days of rainfall. The expected rainfall amount is likely to be below the long-term average for the season, and it is likely to be poorly distributed both in time and space. The coastal counties of Mombasa, Tana River, Kilifi, Lamu, and Kwale. These counties are expected to receive occasional rainfall during the season. The expected rainfall is likely to be below the long-term average amounts for the season, and the rainfall is expected to be generally poorly distributed both in time and space. So overall, we see that the season is going to be below average, and the rainfall will be poorly distributed both in time and space, generally across the whole country. And now we look at the temperatures. The temperature forecast for October to December season. The forecast indicates that warmer than average temperatures are likely over most parts of the country. There are enhanced probabilities of warmer than average temperatures in eastern Kenya. Now I want to look at the expected distribution of the October, November, December rainfall onset and cessation dates. The distribution of the October, November, December rainfall is expected, the rainfall is expected to be poorly distributed both in time and space during the onset month of October and the peak month of November. In the month of December, sunny and dry conditions are expected to prevail over several places as the season draws to an end. The onset and cessation dates, the forecast indicates that most parts of the country are likely to have a late onset and an early cessation. This is especially pronounced over the eastern sector. Several parts of the highlands west of the Rift Valley, the Lake Victoria Basin, the Central and South Rift Valley will continue experiencing occasional rainfall from the month of September. So now we go into the expected onset and cessation for the various counties. The Lake Victoria Basin, highlands west of the Rift Valley, that is the counties of Siaya, Kisumu, Homa Bay, Migori, Kisii, Nyamira, Trans Nzoia, Baringo, Uasin Gishu, Elgeyo Marakwet, Nandi, Kakamega, Vihiga, Bungoma, Busia, and Central and South Rift Valley, that is the counties of Kericho, Bomet, Nakuru, and Laikipia. The rainfall will continue from August is expected during the 3rd to 4th week of December 2021. That is Kirinyaga, Nyeri, Murang'a, Nyandarua, Kiambu, Meru, Embu, Tharaka Nithi, and Nairobi. The onset is expected during the 3rd to 4th week of October 2021, and the cessation 2nd to 3rd week of December 2021. The counties in northwestern Kenya, that is Turkana, Samburu, the rainfall onset is not well defined, neither is the cessation. We expect some rainfall which is expected in the form of storms, but there is no well-defined onset and no well-defined cessation for this region, that is northwestern Kenya. The coastal strip, that is the counties of Kwale, Mombasa, Kilifi, Lamu, and the coastal part of Tana River, 2021. Areas in the South Rift, that is expected during the 4th week of October to the 1st week of November. The cessation is expected during the 4th week of December to the 1st week of January 2021. The northeastern counties, that is Mandera, Wajir, Garissa, Marsabit, Isiolo. The cessation is, the onset is not well defined, and neither is the cessation. The onset is not well defined, and neither is the cessation well defined. But we expect some rainfall which will come in the form of storms. The southeastern lowlands, that is Taita Taveta, Makueni, Kitui, Tana River, Machakos, and Kajiado. The onset is expected during the 2nd to 3rd week of November 2021, and the cessation during the 2nd to 3rd week of December 2021. So basically we expect a short period of rainfall during this season, and the rainfall is not well distributed in time and space. Now we look at the potential impacts. The potential impacts of the October, November, December 2021 rains. Analysis of the rainfall performance for the past seasons, March, April, May, and June, July, August, indicates that most parts of the country, especially the eastern and northern Kenya, have experienced rainfall deficit. The forecasted depressed rainfall during the month of October to December indicates a likelihood of drought conditions that may worsen as the period progresses over most of the arid and semi-arid regions of northern and eastern Kenya. The most likely impacts on various sectors are highlighted below. Agriculture, food security, and livestock development sectors. The food security and nutrition situation in most parts of the arid and semi-arid areas in the northern and eastern parts of Kenya is likely to deteriorate. Late onsets, poor distribution, and reduced amounts of rainfall are likely to negatively affect agricultural production, especially in areas that have been mentioned above, particularly in the eastern sector, where reliance on the short rains is high. In the agricultural counties in the western sector and the central highlands of Kenya, the farming communities should take advantage of the expected rains and maximize on crop yield through appropriate land use management. Farmers are also advised to liaise with the State Department of Agriculture for advice on the appropriate seeds to plant. The poor or depressed rainfall performance expected in some of the ASALs is likely to impact negatively on the availability of foliage and pasture in the pastoral areas of northeastern, northwestern, and southeastern Kenya. Environment and natural resources sector. Forest fires and the associated environmental consequences, such as pollution and threats to biodiversity, are expected to increase in areas expected to receive highly depressed rainfall. Thus, government and communities are advised to promote fire management practices such as fire cut lines, fire breaks, and early burning. Cases of deforestation and vegetation degradation are expected to increase as people look for alternative livelihoods such as charcoal burning due to drought. Measures should be put in place to improve on drought support livelihoods. The disaster management sector. In the ASALs, where depressed rainfall is expected, lack of pasture and water for domestic use and livestock are likely to exacerbate the dry conditions experienced in the months of June, July, and August 2021, coupled with the dry conditions expected in September 2021, and below average rainfall expected during the OND short rain season. Human to wildlife and intercommunity conflicts over the limited resources are likely to escalate in these areas, where cases of malnutrition and food shortage are also expected to increase. Relevant government authorities should therefore put in place the necessary contingency plans and early actions to avoid loss of lives. In Western Kenya, lightning strikes are highly probable, especially in Kisii, Kisumu, Nandi, Kakamega, and Bungoma, particularly the Mount Elgon areas. The health sector. Diseases associated with lack of proper nutrition and poor hygiene due to scarcity of food and water are likely to increase over the northwestern, northeastern, and parts of southeastern lowlands. Thus, rapid vulnerability assessment should be carried out, as well as provision of food relief and food supplements to the vulnerable and most vulnerable population, respectively. Water scarcity may lead to water-washed and water-related diseases. Measures should therefore be put in place to strengthen treatment services as well as provide drinking and domestic water in the ASAL areas. The northern and eastern parts are likely to be susceptible to dust storms, which may lead to an increase in respiratory tract diseases. This may be complicated by the prevailing COVID-19 pandemic, notwithstanding the fact that its development is yet to be fully understood. The relevant authorities should therefore sensitize the public and equip health care facilities with necessary drugs to be able to deal with such situations. The transport and public safety sector. The expected flash floods may lead to destruction of transport systems, especially infrastructure in low-lying areas of Western Kenya and Tana River Basin. Okay. Water and energy sector. Availability of water for general and domestic use is expected to continue deteriorating in the ASAL areas of eastern, and northern parts of the country due to the expected depressed to highly depressed rainfall. Relevant authorities should put in place measures to support the communities living in the affected areas. Water levels in dams, water ponds, and lakes are expected to reduce. Reduced inflows into the water reservoirs and hydropower dams may negatively affect hydropower generation. Careful reservoir management and continuous monitoring of water levels should be carried out in order to stabilize power production.